Hello, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Pottery. My buddy Rhett. We just finished our 3JS video. I've uploaded it. They added like kind of a new thing where they like process your code before, or they process it to just make sure you didn't say anything, I guess, against their community guidelines. Community guidelines is actually a very fascinating concept because I don't think they're talking about their community guidelines. I think they're talking about your community guidelines. So like if like I have a community of about three people, right? There's like three of us. I think the other I think two people are in India and me, right? We're a community. We have guidelines. If one of the three of us report a video for saying something that is outside of our guidelines, then, you know, YouTube will likely ban it or something like that. And the thing is because it's my community, there's two of you guys. I'm assuming you're both males. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure. And so there's three people, three of us. We watch it. We're a community. We have our own little guidelines. As long as none of us complain, we're probably fine. As long as it doesn't go crazy, like some kind of really intense opinion about something, you know. But um, so they have something that's like checking community guidelines to see if we're okay. Um, because the thing that you'll hear a lot from creators is, how come this other guy gets to do that? He says that 10 times in every video. I said that one time. It's like, yes, because your community won't tolerate that, but his community or her community will tolerate that. It's your community guidelines, not YouTube's community guidelines. So is it saying your browser can't play the? Well, I might as well show you. Let's show you. See, there you go. So it says your browser can't play this video and all that. It also has. I really like this lady Lee's Real Talk. Her show is awesome, and it's like I don't know that I'm that particularly interested in her subject matter, but I just like how truthful and honest, and when she talks, she's just speaking in an honest, truthful way. I just really enjoy that. I feel like she could be talking about literally anything. She could be talking about like how trees grow or something like that. And just the fact that she's being super honest when she talks, I enjoy it. And the fact that it's very clear she's not an AI also makes me enjoy watching her. I also have some Stiller stuff, things like that. But anyways, I'm gonna hit. Let's see, hit this. So theoretically, I can. Generally, what happens is after about 30 seconds, I can hit replay and
Good
it'll work.
morning, everybody. It's
There
Marty,
we
the
go.
JavaScript party.
So I don't think that they have actually analyzed it for community guidelines. I am not particularly concerned. Apparently, because they say, hey, if you upload something and it violates community guidelines, you'll likely get demonetized. But I'm not even close to being monetized. Um, and even if I was monetized, like literally, how much money am I gonna make off of three people watching my videos, and and all that. So, anyways, I'm working on something else now. Me and Rhett just got done working on our um, 3JS thing, and now we have another thing. And I'm pretty sure yesterday I was working on Say Hello, so I believe we're working on the flashcards, and I don't remember what we're doing. And I have started this new thing where I started updating the README. Now, if I hit open reset and flashcards is after Say Hello, then that means that flashcards is what I'm working on today. And sure enough, it is. So, and I find it to be mentally extraordinarily healthy to. So I don't think I killed the the server. I can't remember. And if I didn't, then I'm in big trouble. Okay, I didn't kill it, but it killed it for me. If I did, so it says flashcards. What's next? A signal. We now have. I'm assuming that's the right words. That provides the current state. Wire up the UI to the signal to the signal the toggle. I'm starting to remember. Let's do this. Okay, so I believe this is like this year in 2026, I started this concept where I used to create a project and then create an Angular project and then go into the Angular project and never ever leave. And then whenever I opened my file system, I would be in the Angular project, and then I never had to really consider anything. But this year I started putting Cypress in a different thing, and the main reason is like, so if we go into Cypress right now, and then go into ETE, and we go into here, you'll notice that I can do this, cy dot, and it gives me these menu items, right? That does not work on my 3JS one, and that's because it has some sort of weird configuration issue between the unit tests and the Cypress. Now, sadly, I'm not going to do unit tests on this project, which does make me sad because I've actually started to enjoy it. But I just don't really like that VI test at this point. I may like it in the future, but today I just don't like it. And my main hang up on it, and it's like kind of like one of those things where, okay, I have a hang up, and then once, if I'm sure they'll deal with this hang up, because there's just no way that they're going to leave it this way. But if they do, and whatever, it won't be relevant to me. But my main hang up with VI test is that it doesn't test in the browser. It tests in a node-like environment. And that's just not what I want. I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm not going to argue with you about it. But I get that it makes sense you're unit testing JavaScript, but I am not unit testing JavaScript. I'm trying to make a better application by using unit tests, not unit test JavaScript. And that worked really very well with Jasmine Karma, but not so great with VITE because VITE is not testing the browser. And I actually care if it works or does. I couldn't care less if it doesn't work outside the browser. I couldn't care less if it works outside the browser but not in the browser. I don't care. I don't want that. If it works in the browser and not outside the browser, that's what I want. So I'm not unit tests for me are not about JavaScript, they're about the browser. So whatever. And so with Jasmine Karma, it was about the browser. With VITE, it seems to be about the JavaScript, and I don't care about that part. Like I said, if it works in JavaScript but it doesn't work in the browser, it doesn't work for me. If it works in the browser but not in JavaScript, it works for me. So we'll just leave it at that. And honestly, like I just said all that out loud because I'm trying to come to terms with what is happening. But anyways, I need to go into my project, which is Flashcard Builder, and then I need to start it. And if I remember correctly, now I'm like digging into my last Sunday, which feels like a year ago, and I think I was sick last Sunday, and now I feel amazing. So I wish I could go back in time and tell that version of me, hey, don't worry, this time next week you're gonna feel like $1 million. It is kind of funny because I think if I'm sick during the week or for a few days and then I feel better, I feel way better than I would if I never got sick. And so if I'm sick on Monday and Tuesday and I'm recovered on Wednesday, I feel better on Wednesday than if I had not been sick at all on Monday or Tuesday. So just one of those things. I think these are those sort of things that, like when you get past age 50, or as you start to approach age 60, you start to notice a lot of things like that. And it does make life a lot more enjoyable. All right, so yesterday I was at data entities and I brought up my thing and I hit reload and it just left me at data entities, which put me in a bit of a shock. And it was just like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I have a route that assumes that if there's two things, that the first one is the language and the second one is the region, locale, and all that. So anyways, so let's hit reload and see what happens. So it moved us over. And now I think what'll happen, if I remember correctly, when we click this button, it's actually going to ask us to turn on the microphone. And then it's actually going to start doing stuff, I think. But none of this guy won't realize that the microphone is in fact on. But I think it will notice if I say no. So if I hit this, I say, or maybe not, maybe it doesn't even know. So let's try that. So I can't remember if I hit this and then I say no, if it goes back to this. So I'm going to say, oh, so it's not allowed. It's not allowed because apparently, oh my gosh. So it did show a little microphone up there that I think I had a little bit of time to mess with. Yes, so I can come over here and now I can reset permissions. Uh, and then I think when I close this, and this is all new stuff, right? Like so, and it is very likely to change. But right now, if you turn it off, but now it's not going to work. It actually let you interact, but it won't actually work properly unless you hit reload. Now I've reloaded. Now let's try it again. There we go. And now if I close this up here, see, then I get this not allowed. And I believe I reset things, but I don't think that this guy's listening. Now let's reload. Let's hit refresh again. Let's try that again. Hello, how are you? And see, now it's on, and I don't really have any way of turning it on. And this doesn't even realize this should be green. It should be like that, and it should be green. And it is currently listening, and it's currently spouting off. Let's hit F12, and let's see what we got. See, we have VR is not for virtual reality, it's for voice recorder. Stayed off, so if I hit reload, so the VR state is off. I hit this, now it's on. And I don't think this does anything. So it didn't actually try to do anything when I turned it back off again. But I do think this is really cool. And I think once it's wired up, that would probably be a really good branch to kind of save away as a good starting place. Well, the one other thing I would like to, before I do that, would be to actually have it print out the text. That seems like a great starting place for any future ideas that I have. But let's reload. All right, so we need to listen to this. So I'm going to click on that. So this is in the constructor of toggle recognition TS. So control P, toggle recognition TS. Now I'm just going to delete I'm just going to close all the other, close others. All right, so we have our voice recognition no. Okay, so this is our toggle. We have our voice. We are listening. Oh, okay, so we are actually listening to it, but we are not changing our voice state. Okay, and I don't actually, okay, so I believe this has three choices, right? It's a voice, and then this has three. So I'm going to say if, I don't know if it's going to stay like this, but I think it's going to stay like this. And just note, we do not want to do it this way. and I only learned this from my other project that I have unit tests on. It is damn near impossible. It's so hard to unit test effects that are based on the state and stuff, like to say this thing. So I actually want to do this. This dot process voice recognition. And then I want to pass in the current voice recognition state. And there is no process, so we're going to say process voice recognition. And this is going to return a boolean. And I'm just going to return true. It did in fact process it. Now, this is a habit that I picked up because of unit testing in my 3JS project. I know that this will get coverage, and so I don't want to. I don't want to. S- so I won't have to worry about that when I'm trying to get coverage because it will get called. The effect will in fact get called. It just won't do anything. So then I can call this function, this process voice recognition directly and pass in things so that I can call it. So then I can get coverage on that and test it however I want to. This dot voice state. I don't know what's gonna happen if I say this dot voice state equals current. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens at this point. Let's just try it out. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right. Oh, it's weird. Okay, maybe I need to actually do a full-blown reload. Gosh, that's so annoying. I don't even. Oh, I guess it's because it's in the same tab. All right, we'll kill this. Not allowed. Okay, so nothing really happened, and I thought maybe voice. This isn't tied to it yet, so let's do that. Change checked. Okay, so checked. Okay, if it's not off. Okay, so it looks like that actually worked, right? Oh, I guess because I hit reload. Okay, so what I'm going to do just for now is actually, I guess it takes it a minute. That's weird. Oh, okay. Maybe I should put like a little error message instead of the alert because it looks like, okay, so what happened was because and I guess that's fine. Actually, now that I think about it, it's fine. Okay, so we do this, we get the alert, we say, oh, not allowed. Okay. And I guess it's because I said no last time. It's kind of weird that it didn't give a thing. Okay, so now we're going to say yes. So it did work, kind of. What the hell? What does this little I do? Okay, reset. A little weirded out. Okay, so now it's just working. It's like, yeah, that is so annoying. I don't understand. Do I have to? What if I go to a whole new one? Localhost. Yeah, I don't feel like I said never allow. It looks like this one works. Like this works, no? Oh, it does if once you give it. Unfortunately, when you click on the alert, it doesn't actually do that. So I'm going to say this. I don't know. I want to create like some error text to go under my toggle. I guess. I don't know. Okay, so let's go ahead and for the moment get rid of this alert and just make it a console log instead. Let's see what happens. I'd kind of gotten emotionally attached to the concept of using an alert there, but Let's say console.log, and if we're going to do an alert, we might as well just say where this on error event. So now we're going to console log and see what happens. And I guess alerts are weird. Alerts are in fact strange. Probably should avoid them. It was a good idea. It was one of those things. Was a really good idea when they first came out. We definitely couldn't have got here without them, but they are way past their time. What? Did I just get rid of my alert? Did it not save? Okay, so this is, I feel like recognition API is not supported is a good alert. Don't know why. Okay, so it is just console log and it's still not. Until I actually interact with it, it doesn't do anything. Mm, 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 mm. So I wonder if, what do we got here? Microphone. Oh, let's just do this div. Status, comma, and then what? Voice state. Mm, got confused. Try to do JavaScript in there. Okay, so voice state status off, waiting. So that looks right to me, but for some reason, then it didn't ever actually call it, which is weird. What is going on? We definitely don't want that. Only this time. Reload. What in the world? Now it's letting it happen every time. Reset permissions. Can ask to use microphone. Yes. Now there's two of them. That's weird. That little number 2 does not make me happy. It's like I'm literally about to just kill the whole damn browser and try again. Or maybe try with Edge or something. See, it's just so frustrating. Now what happens? Reload. Oh, we got the green. That was the first time I've seen that. Cancel. Okay, that actually makes sense to me because it took the browser away until the browser gets focus back again. Um, then that so that actually worked perfectly, I think. It's not gonna do anything until you come back because you've left the whole browser, and that's just a reality. I mean, there's just nothing we can do about that. Now, does this also work even if we don't have a status? Probably do need to put like a little error or something under there, a status error status or something. I see nothing, which was bothering me, but the problem is that the browser does not have focus right now. And now it went to off. And now, Oh, that's perfect. That's so perfect. I mean, it'd be really, it's not perfect. It would be really nice if it worked on that. But we are definitely wired up now, though. And I think it, now I don't think we're, oh, but we didn't actually turn it off. All right, so we do need to change event checked. Let's go ahead and see if we can take care of that really quick. Okay, I don't think we want this log anymore. Okay, so is stop voice not working? It looks like, let's see, I'm curious. I'm just going to do an alert here. Stop. Stop that. Stop that. Okay, let's see. Did it reload? I don't know. Okay, so it is stopping, but it's not stopping. It's not actually calling stop voice. Okay, so let's say this dot stop voice, or it is calling stop voice. Oh, okay, this does not call the recognition service to stop it. I think that is probably like that probably took like 5 times longer to do than it would have just to push through last week. Um, that is one of the sort of, to me, one of the best examples of, I mean, one of the best, like this, taking a bunch of time off between coding things and then trying to pick it back up is probably one of the best things you could do to help to teach yourself how to write code that is maintainable. Because when you come back in a week and you come up to speed, you can see why your code that you wrote last week wasn't effectively, you were not able to come up to speed this week, right? You're like, oh, why was that confusing? Boy, that sure did seem as clear as a bell last week, but this week it isn't. Why is that? Okay, so we are not recording, so it definitely reloaded. It is currently waiting, but it isn't. It actually did not. Okay, so that didn't quite work right, but let's see what happens when we turn it off. So it actually did quit working, and now we're back on. Now the only problem is that it doesn't ever get the waiting, this signal. For some reason, the signal didn't. See, it does turn off if you do that. So for some strange reason, the signal, we either aren't getting a signal or, okay, so I'm going to go back to alert. I'm just going to see if we get an effect. So that's the first question is like, are we even getting an effect when we go from off to on? And this is like another thing, like I wouldn't have ever predicted that this would be a problem. Okay, so we got our signal. I guess it'd be best to actually move this to the, and again, like I say this kind of thing all the time. Like when I was coming up, we always used alert. So I learned how to use alert. Um, but is it worth learning alert today? Probably not. Probably not. It's probably better off just never ever knowing that it existed. But for, since I already know how to do it, I've spent thousands, hundreds at least, but probably more like thousands of hours using alert to get things done. Like I might as well use it. Okay, so now we're waiting, which makes sense. Now we're on, which makes sense. Oh, that is wild that it just worked without. Oh, it's because we never did get asked the questions. Okay, so now it's off, which makes sense. Now, so we probably don't even need to do this. Doesn't seem like we need this one. Kind of feels like we need this one because wait, this one knows we're waiting, and then but on off, like we'll find out it's off from the event. Okay, so we're off, waiting, on, and then off, and then back on again. So we get waiting, on. Okay, so maybe that's what was screwing it up. Okay, so let's remove this comment. Let's remove the alert. Sometimes the alert actually fixes things. And then you're like, oh crap, I can't, we can't do this. Like the alert is forcing events to fire and things like that. And it's like, see, it came on, but it never, oh wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, okay, this is weird, right? Because like until we interact with the screen, it won't update the UI. I mean, I think it's fine, right? Like it's fine. You probably would never have a problem. Like because people interact with the screen, so they'll be like, okay, turn it off, move on with my life. Boom. The minute they start interacting, it updates. Like some very, very, very sharp people may catch it, but most people would never ever catch it. They'd be like, okay, turn it on. Okay. All right. So blah, 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 blah. It's recording, right? And let's see, let's turn it off. Okay. It's not recording anymore, but it still says it. But then when you click, it fixes. You know, like most people will never catch that. I don't think would ever catch that something is screwed up there. There will be some people that catch it, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, we can't figure it out." But I would like to spend this time to try to figure out what's going on, because I would rather. I will definitely catch it, and I don't need that annoyance every day. And let's just do this. And this problem, if we can fix it, will probably be pretty straightforward to fix. Probably very difficult to fix in the future. Keep doing that. Okay, waiting and on. Okay, so now we got this error. It says the value is 4 and the current value is -1. Now when we click here, it updated. Okay, so something is really screwing things up in here. And I do not like this one. So we went from -1 to 3. I don't even know what we're talking about here. So let's just do this. Let's get rid of this process and just see if the problem goes away or if we continue to have the problem. I don't think we'll have the problem. Yeah, so the problem does go away. Um, so first thing I do when I run into this problem, this issue, is I always do a set timeout. So set timeout. So basically this just says, hey, go ahead and do this thing at the beginning of um, the next async. So basically the way JavaScript works is it is on a loop. There's like, it goes through, it finishes all the tasks, and then it starts the new set of tasks. There's certain things that will say, hey, go ahead and throw this on the next task. And this is the next loop. And this is the thing that is one technique for doing that. Um, let's see, and see all of our problems are gone. Now there are other less. This set timeout thing is a bit of a trigger for a lot of people. Um, so there are like more professional ways of doing this. Uh, And I feel like I want to understand this, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, and then so I'm going to go to Chat GPT, and I try to I like if in these sorts of situations I like to use Chat GPT because I just don't think it's going to be around. My gut, and I'm wrong. My gut's wrong all the time. Okay, so it's not that I'm not emotionally attached to this, but my gut is that we're going to find out that ChatGPT is way, way more expensive than we thought it was. Like either expenses are being sort of, it's possible that like the expense is being levied on somebody else that is not aware that they're being charged, right? Like there might be taxes or something that are paying for this massive amount of resourcing or processing, and I'm getting like a bargain deal or and way below like maybe this request here should cost $10,000 but it's only costing me nothing because somebody else is paying for it and they probably don't even know they're paying for it or so that's my guess. So that's my gut is that this is that I'm using something that's way more expensive than I should than it appears to be. um Control V. Okay, so I have this code inside of an effect, and it is not quite working right, working right correctly, and it is throwing console error. But I change it to this, works perfectly. Like this information that I'm trying to get right now, there just was no way to get that a year ago or 5 years ago, 3 years ago, before AI. There was too much information to try to go through to find the answer to these things, and then sitting there trying to figure it out could take hours and hours and hours. So now somebody is probably oh wait, that is not the right. So now somebody has probably figured this out, and they may very well have posted it on a blog or something somewhere. And oh, okay, perfectly. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Through 19 plus 17 to 19. So yeah, fixes fixes it. To do the next macro task. So yeah, so anytime the Angular or the JavaScript comes up and it sees this set timeout, it says, "Oh, okay, let's move this to the top, the front of the next loop, and be done with it in this loop." Which that solves a lot of problems because it lets the existing code just sort of play out, and then a lot of times that. So, see, this is so condescending. Okay, so this is extremely condescending. Okay, so just so you know, this is extremely condescending. Condescending. Like that is just such a condescending way to put things in. Um, I feel like we are, if we don't say anything, um, it'll just be normalized, and it's just like, the real fix, it implies that there's a real way to do it, not that we're trying to figure stuff out. And that it's been like, it's like if you ever watch the Game of Thrones, there's a point where they're talking about the moon, and someone says the moon is blah 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 blah. It is known. Like we don't talk about this anymore. That's what the real fix is like. It is known. It's like it is not known. This is a new. This we are trying to work through shit right now, and you're being a jerk. So that is how that works, I think. Okay, if you're intentionally mutating a signal inside effect, you should enable it. What? Allow signal rights? Okay. Okay, let's try that. Let's see. And then it's saying that I could add a comma here and give it a second thing called allow signal rights. It's kind of weird because, and then true. Now, why did it have like a little, okay, so, okay, okay, so this is a perfect example. Okay, so my ID says that my IDE says that your real solution is deprecated. Oh, good. Well, then why did you call it real? Okay, so if that is good, then why did you call it the real solution? I'm trying to train my freaking AI to not be such an a-hole. Um, uh, oh, it's like in Game of Thrones, when they say it is known, which shuts down new learning and is a very, very short-sighted way of thinking, short way of approaching problems. It's a social stop sign, ends inquiry. It signals certainty without examination. Wow, that's a really good way of it. It compresses a complex into a settled truth. Calling something the real solution can do the same thing rhetorically. It implies the matter is closed. It subtly ranks approaches. It discourages exploration and trade-offs. And engineering doesn't work that way, especially in reactive systems like. Okay, so what should I? Okay, so what? So I tried the real solution, and it is deprecated. What? I would never talk to a person that way. By the way, a person like if someone did that and I sort of gave them a light chastising, and then they like said, "Okay, you're right. I shouldn't say that," or whatever. Um, or nine times out of ten, they would blame it on their autism or something. But kids these days. But if they're like, okay, I got you, I got it, I would leave them alone. But What should I? Next question mark. Got it. If allow is deprecated and the plain effect call throws, then we're back to the core time problem. You're mutating or triggering a side effect during Angler's reactive evaluation. Since deprecating flag isn't an option, here are your next realistic approaches. Options one, queue the micro task. Actually, I love this. What is queue? It runs after. What is queue microtask? I love that because it says exactly what you're doing. Set timeout. It's just like as a side effect, I would like to. I want this moved to the next microtask, but this is saying um, put it on the next microtask, not as a side effect. Actually, do it. Just do it, which I think is like makes coding so much easier to reason about. And when I say so much more reasonable, and when I say more reasonable, I mean easier to reason about. And again, if we were trying to do this down the line, like if we kick this can down the line, this problem would be a lot more confusing and complex than it is. Okay, so that does not seem to be working. But like if I, okay, so whew. So let's see. Gosh, see, this was working a second ago, I thought. But it's like now I have to click on it again to make it work. Did I? Let's just create a whole new browser again. Or not a whole new browser, but a whole new tab. So we got that, we got that. Now when we click on that, it'll work. Do we still have the error in the, so we don't have that anymore. And it was working, right? The set timeout was working. And see, like, I almost feel like I don't know what to do. All right, so that is weird though, because it's very frustrating because I feel like we did have it for a second where it was working perfectly. All right, let's try this in Edge and see what happens. This is the kind of thing I would not expect to be different in Edge. I would expect it to be exactly the same because it seems like once you leave the um, sort of goes 4200, and then oh wow, yeah, so it's working the exact same way. It's recording. Once I click on there, it'll. Okay, so this does not seem to be related to. Okay. Okay, so it's saying use it as a subscribe, use computed if it's a derivation. Okay, so this is probably not true. It's just like crap that people make up. Writes a phrase can stop. Writes during that phase can cause loops, angulars. Tell me. So basically, it is signaling that the microphone was either turned on or rejected. Rejected. So it's just so weird. I'm going to do this. Well, I wonder if we can set the focus on something. Because the thing is like, it seems like what's happening is like, okay, we're clicked, and now I don't know where the focus is. Like if I hit tab, yeah, see, the focus is off of here. We really want to, when we click on this, for the focus to, after we're done, the focus to be set there. So, so basically what we want to do is like if it's changed, hey, this is what is solving that. I don't, okay, so I guess we need to double check to see. Is this having the same effect up here? Because if this is having the same effect up here, I want to use this Q microtest, not set timeout. Just because I like the fact that it's actually saying what it does, what it's doing. So even if I have the same result, okay, so I have the exact same route, so I would rather use Q microtask. Now, um, reject it. Also, it only seems to update when I manually click back into the browser or tab. Into the browser, like losing focus. Uh, oh, micro Q works as well. Oh, so see, I hate how it does that. So micro queuing, or the micro Q, the Q microtask is working. Appears having working as well as the timeout. But voice is changed, probably filing outside Angler zone during the reactive event. By just deferring the call, okay, so the next, yeah, I don't think that's cleaner. Actually, I think that's dirtier. Okay, so okay, but it seems like manually focus the um, focus on an element um, to finish. Updating the screen. Or is there a command? Update the screen. Oh, it's not about focus. It says it's not. It's not about it, but it is about it. I guess is what they're saying. And yeah, I think this is probably what I'm going to need to do. I'm going to need to do this change director F, which I don't really, I don't like it, but I can't come up with a good reason why I don't like it, but I don't like it. It's one of those things where like, I think, uh, I think people call it CDR. Um, it's like one of those things where like how people don't like the set timeout, and it's just kind of like get over it. this is where it hits me on the other side, where I'm like, I don't like it. I don't know why. Normally, I just get over it, but sometimes it just gives me a bad, like, it's just like one of those things, like in my gut, I don't like it. But, and then over here, R dot mark for check, detect changes. What was it? Oh, detect changes. I try to avoid that at all costs, but sometimes you got to do it. Oh yeah. This actually saved me at my job. Where like okay, so the thing that always to me tells me that this probably needs to be done is when you if you click on it and then when you leave and nothing updates and then you click on the page and it updates, you probably need to call this thing. And I don't really understand why, but so now I'm wondering, okay, do I need I think I need the Q microtask command to avoid that um, error in my um, console. Nope, don't need that anymore. Isn't that weird? That is so freaking crazy. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, this is weird. It didn't work though. Oh, it just was slow. Takes it a bit, I guess, to turn off and turn on. Now it's on. Now it's off. Okay. Oh, I guess that's Rhett's way of saying, hey, look, this video has gone on too long. So we're waiting. We hit allow. Don't see any errors. That is crazy. That is crazy. All right. So now I changed it to this. Okay, so I changed it to this. It seems to be working perfectly. Okay, why it works. First thing, it bypasses the zone reactive issue. I changed something to render it now. That's legitimate. Okay. Is it safe? Generally, yes. Okay, so if the process. All right. Oh, probably more like one of the dozens of correct fixes. That's just a light chastening. That's a better way of thinking it. I just want so the concept that I definitely would want anyone who's watching, one of my community of three. I see you guys. I see you guys. I see you guys. Um, my community, one thing I do want to come say across is there's very rarely one right solution. And I always say, and no one likes this, but I always say, as long as as a professional developer who's been around for a long time, as long as you pick, there's usually dozens of correct solutions and some bad solutions and some things that won't work. And as long as you pick one of the dozens of correct solutions, I'm perfectly happy to go with it. But anyway, so we're good. We got this working. I think that is awesome. So I think the next step it will be to start printing whatever I'm saying. So right now it's listening, but all that stuff's just getting lost. Um, implement. I still feel like that falls under implement voice structure. So down here, result component goes here. This result component that's in our app. Let's go to our app. Okay, so we're going to need to create a new component and results component, and it needs to listen for results to print out. And then probably what I want is like a little time and the result, time and the result. And if I remember correctly, results are a little bit crazy because there can be more than one. It's not simple. Um, so it's not obvious what the results are. If we go look, let's go ahead and turn this off. See, this is when it's really nice having the voice application that we built last year, our 2025 effort. This is actually pretty good. We're only in the beginning of March of 2026, and I feel like that's really good progress for 1 day a week. But this is basically where what happens is, and actually, I think this is probably the better way to do it. Allow this time. Hello, how are you? What is up? And as you can see, if we scroll down here, we have our green thing and we only got a result. Hello, hello, how are you? Account, how are you? See, these are our results. And then this one for this application, let's go back over here. See, starting to get alternative results and stuff like that. And that's kind of like it comes in a weird format, or not a weird format. Well, there's no when I say weird, I don't mean anything negative. It comes in a format that's a little unwieldy and all that, and it's the same exact format from for Edge, but it isn't exactly. The format's exactly the same, but the way the data comes in is a little bit different. So anyways, that is what we're going to be working on next is creating a new component, a new results component. And I think that results component, I think I want all the complexity for decoding and inspecting and a result to be in the results component. I think all I want the service to do is just announce what it got. I don't think I want to be. I want sometimes you want the brains. 9 times out of 10, you probably want the brains to be in the service, like all the logic and intelligence to be in the service. This is one situation where I just want all of the brains for this thing to be in the component. I may change my mind, but at this point, I think I want a smart component, not a dumb component. Um, just because that logic, I just want it isolated. That logic for digging through this massive attributes and this object with all these weird all these unique implementations of attributes and stuff like that. I want all that to be like isolated into one spot, and that one spot. Maybe I'll create a service for that component and try to put all of it in that service for that component. But I don't want it to just sort of have its tendrils go throughout the entire application. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.